everyone, welcome to The Point. In the following video, we'll discuss about the problems which are central to an economy. Now, before moving ahead, I would like to tell you that the following problems are not specific to Indian economy. All the countries in the world suffer from more or less the same problems. So here we go. There are basically three central problems of an economy. The first one is what to produce, how to produce, and from whom to produce. So taking up the first problem of what to produce, before explaining the problem itself, I would like to tell you the reason why this problem arises. The problem arises because the resources in the economy are scarce and the wants are unlimited. So that means we don't have sufficient resources to fulfill all the wants of all the citizens of a country. Hence, this problem arises as to what do we produce, so in order to maximize the maximum wants of the maximum people in the country. Now, this involves taking decision regarding two things. The first one is whether we should produce consumer goods or final goods, and the second one is in what quantity each one of them should be produced so as to make the maximum out of it. Moving on to the next problem, that is how to produce. Now, after we have decided as to what to produce, the next question arises how to produce. It basically involves choosing between two techniques, the first one out of which is the labor intensive technique, the other one is capital intensive. In the first technique, we use more of manpower, and the second technique we use more of machines and instruments. For an example, if we talk about China, the country is more of capital intensive countries, which means that they use more of machines rather than human beings as the means of production. Whereas if we talk about India as a country, the method used here is the labor intensive one. One more point which I would like to add here is that the capital intensive technique requires higher investment when compared to the labor one. Usually most of the developed countries in the world are capital intensive, for example USA, Germany, UK, and the developing countries are the labor intensive ones. Now moving on to the next slide and the next question, that is for whom to produce. After we have decided what to produce and how to produce, now we have to decide what will be the target audience for the goods that are produced in an economy. Whether the goods will be for the rich people or they are for the poor people. And accordingly, we'll decide how do we market them. Since the resources are scarce in every economy, no society can satisfy all the wants of the people, and thus the problem of choice arises. So summing up briefly the three problems of an economy, which is what to produce, that is the capital goods or the consumer goods, how do we produce it, either by using the labor intensive technique or the capital intensive technique, and finally what would be the final audience for the products that are produced in the economy. So that's all for the today's video. Thank you so much.